Before they became pioneers of flight, Wilbur and Orville Wright were just two ordinary boys with big dreams. Born in the Midwest, Wilbur in 1867 in Millville, Indiana, and Orville in 1871 in Dayton, Ohio, the brothers grew up in a time when horses, trains, and bicycles were the fastest ways to travel. But they believed something greater was possible, a way for humans to soar through the sky. As children, Wilbur and Orville were always curious. They loved tinkering with machines and building things. One day, their father, Bishop Wright, brought home a small flying toy, a rubber band-powered helicopter designed by a French inventor. When they wound it up and let it go, whoosh! It floated into the air before spinning to the ground. The brothers were fascinated and tried to build their own versions, dreaming that one day a person might fly just like their little toy. As they grew older, Wilbur and Orville turned their fascination with mechanics into a business. In 1892, they opened the Wright Cycle Company in Dayton, Ohio, building and repairing bicycles. But they weren't just thinking about bicycles. They were thinking about how to fly. The Wright brothers studied every flying attempt before them. They read about Otto Lilienthal, a German aviation pioneer who had experimented with gliders but died in a crash. They also studied how birds use their wings to control their flight. If birds can balance in the air, Orville said, then so can we. In 1899, at ages 32 and 28, Wilbur and Orville built their first experimental gliders. They chose the windy sand dunes of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, as their testing ground. Why Kitty Hawk? Because it had strong winds and soft sand to cushion their landings, or crashes. But flying wasn't easy. Their first glider barely lifted off the ground. They rebuilt it and tried again. Sometimes it soared for a moment before crashing into the sand. Other times, it didn't even take off. They failed over 200 times, but each time they learned something new. After countless failures, they realized the key to flight wasn't just building wings, it was controlling them. Birds could tilt their wings to turn in the air, so the brothers invented wing warping, a way to bend the wings slightly to keep the plane balanced. By 1903, at ages 36 and 32, Wilbur and Orville were ready to take the next step, building a powered flying machine. They called it the Wright Flyer, and even designed their own lightweight engine with the help of their mechanic, Charlie Taylor. Finally, on December 17, 1903, in the cold morning air, the Wright Flyer was placed on a wooden launch rail. Orville took the pilot's position while Wilbur held the wings steady. The engine roared to life. And then, history was made. Orville's flight lasted only 12 seconds and covered 120 feet, about the length of a basketball court. But it was enough to prove that controlled, powered flight was possible. Later that day, Wilbur took his turn, flying even farther. By the end of the day, they had completed 4 flights, with Wilbur's final flight lasting 59 seconds and traveling 852 feet. At first, few people believed their success, but as the brothers continued improving their planes, the world took notice. Soon, they were demonstrating flights across America and Europe, proving that human flight was the future. Today, thanks to Wilbur and Orville Wright, we can fly across the world in hours. Their determination, their failures, and their never-give-up attitude changed history forever. If you loved the story of the Wright brothers and how their determination took humanity to the skies, be sure to subscribe for more inspiring stories about incredible inventors and their journeys. Keep believing in yourself, just like Wilbur and Orville did.
Smart Kiddo Animation.